Chapter 7, The Law of Consciousness. Breathing, energy, consciousness. In the loop of time, our breathing, energy, consciousness meet, are reborn, and die in the same time period. Everything exists, is phased out, and is developed at the same time. The source or cause and being, effect, of this power or wisdom is the energy condition behind the science, where everything and nothing exists at once, where the formula of cause and effect is found at once, constant, and yet divides into the concept time to become manifested physically, so that we can use it concretely. We can count, prove, and disprove breathing, energy, consciousness, as they are the power behind everything in the present tense that creates the future tense from the past tense. They have a purpose. They are capable of neutralizing the unnecessary in the cause and effect of the present tense. The present tense, the loop of time, the 0 point, actually have no duality, and thus they are the dominant factor and the source or the cause of changes. The present tense is breathing. Its change and motivation are created, and where the opposite poles in agreement meet are integrated, changed, and transformed constantly by means of the law of consciousness, substantiated by Law 1 of combined consciousness ability, and create balance from Law 2, sustained consciousness ability. Breathing, energy, and consciousness form the DNA of our consciousness, the blueprint, our mechanical survival mechanism, drawing energy in and sending energy out. Transformative connection between human and it, your energy blueprint by individual inner shifting, sustained change, transformation, inner strength and growth, as they are the link to the sustainable person, self-management. Law 1, Combined Consciousness Ability. Dialogue is a dynamic intuition. Emotional, intellectual abilities, and humanitarian intuition. This is the science of modern consciousness. Combined intelligence is our combined understanding ability as the tool to achieve more conscious, quality-based results based on our combined consciousness as our full capacity, our comprehension ability, and our inclusiveness ability. Our full capacity based on combined consciousness, which by this creates and optimizes opportunities to use our full emotional and operational capacity, emotional and operational management as an evolving mindset, the sustainable person, self-management. This creates conditions to be able to master self-management in order to achieve balanced progress in private and business life. It also creates conditions to be able to learn how to build and rebuild your personal life as we grow, evolve, and develop as individuals, just as we also change in our interactions with families or in our social life, in our professions, and in any organic system with which we surround ourselves. Our intelligence is our abilities. It is necessary for us to comprehend our abilities, to understand them, to accommodate them, to develop them, to integrate them with each other, to phase out the unusable ones or combine them in a wholeness. In every system, this depends on the combined consciousness ability and the condition of the system or consciousness, our energetic blueprint based on our EQ and IQ interconnected and consciously combined by us. Combined consciousness is the comprehension ability of the capacity ability of all the various forms of intelligences, in other words, EQ and IQ, that exist as one organic intelligent system. Its survival depends on the integration ability between the two units with divergent abilities. A new way, the innovation ability, to create a sustained balance in a system, combined consciousness ability. This one is built with all kinds of different conscious forms of interferences, which develop our wholeness ability, so that it is capable of handling or denying an integration of a coincidence ability, which may suddenly appear due to the cause and effect of the free will in a wholeness in the system. What is necessary is not the same as the system, of which the unit is part, and it exists in the present tense. The combined knowledge is the result of combined intelligence and combined consciousness. The language of our brain, our organs, our body, our feelings, and the nature around us is the cause of the beginning of any action in our life, personally as well as in business, cause and effect. The combined consciousness, where our dynamic intuition and organic instincts meet, and our emotional capacity are combined with our operational capacity. By this is created the emotional and operational management, self-development, and evolution on several levels, both mentally, physically, psychologically, and consciously, energetically. By simplifying a complexity, we learn how to develop our consciousness or comprehension ability, combined consciousness, combined intelligence. This is because it takes all our various abilities in an interaction to be able to simplify a complexity. Law 2. Sustained consciousness ability. Monologue is an organic instinct. Operational, intellectual abilities, the ego's instincts. This is the science of modern consciousness. Balance is the cause of peace. Peace is the language of consciousness. In the peace, we can hear, see, feel, think, and make decisions with clarity in the present tense. Understanding the language of silence is to learn the language of consciousness, to be able to accommodate personal and business success, sustainability. Sustained consciousness ability has the ability of balancing in the integration which took place between emotional and operational capacities in combined consciousness ability, where it is a consciousness that contributes to the energies progressing from present to future tense in a balanced way between the opposite poles in their shift. These may be in change phases, transformation phases, phasing out and development phases, in the subconscious as well as the consciousness, integrated with each other in the present tense. Duality creates a sustained and balanced integration between divergence, which creates possibilities of developing a greater capacity ability or innovation ability, and of developing our entire consciousness with the purpose of creating wholeness ability, so that the integration ability increases, and the divergent ability is maintained in a balance, in duality, in present tense. By this, we can contribute to achieve an active wholeness ability, so that any existing condition is capable of interacting with other conditions in combined conditions, in a system, in order, or simply existing in a constant condition to maintain the balance or sustainability the ability requires. Here we refer to the law of sustained consciousness ability. By using the sustained consciousness or sustained intelligence, we learn how to grow with sustained balance by simplifying a complexity. This is because it requires all our different abilities being balanced during the phases of change, integration, and transformation in order to be able to simplify a complexity and to transform it into a quality-based condition with balance. Sustained consciousness ability is when we consciously and actively choose to take the bearing part of ourselves further on, when it might have been through too many changes and has been developed onto another level. A level where the price is too high if we continue to be in the given situation, despite the big win we might get. We pay a price to stay stuck in an old situational consciousness, which makes it almost impossible for us to thrive or be happy there anymore. Although we have once been very happy in the same given situation, it makes no sense anymore. It is not sustained anymore, and may do more harm than good. Sometimes, when we have learned what we need to, then we must consciously be able to choose that life lesson off in favor of being able to move on more freely in life. And yes, everything has a price. This is a sustained consciousness ability with which we work very much, finding the courage inside ourselves, acknowledging it, and seeing the learning, and then transforming it as part of our sustained wisdom inside us, and choosing on and off, passionate and courageous, with a developing, sustainable consciousness. Emotional and operational intelligence. Our emotional intelligence is the energy input and output being received, rejected, phased out, transformed, formatted, and streamlined. The emotional intelligence is our fuel, just as food is for our physical body, and also a necessity, as otherwise the body would stall, get out of order, a necessity like passion or love being our driving force. The operational intelligence is our technical machine, like our body is in relation to food, and is at the same time a necessity for food to be converted into the energy our body needs. Our combined intelligence creates the intelligence of our wholeness, and they are constantly working together as they are each other's cause and effect, and thus a necessity for survival. Just like the combination we consist of, our psychic, mental, physical, and mind's parts of our body, and what we add to each of the parts to be able to survive. Or simply, what we optimize our physical body or mind with, what we choose on, such as food or the emotional energies we receive as love or frustration. The brain twister. Comprehensive leadership comprehends sustainability, emotional and operational state in any capacity, quality, built on sustainable values in a business innovatory. The missing link. What we lack consciousness about. If the pulse of a system is the emotional capacity as an emotional condition, then we have an answer to where we can find enough fuel for the energy input required by the system to be able to function in a sustained and resilient way now and in the future. Each of our emotional conditions, like for instance input, has an effect which influences the pulse of the system, exactly like our body. Imagine that you, with a good mood, enter a room where there is a very heavy mood. The energy has an influence on you, and when you leave the room again, the probability that you are no longer in a fantastic mood with a lot of good feelings is big, unless you are very conscious about your emotional capacity and are able to balance and quickly reset by using your concrete logical thinking to separate the inappropriate and to preserve the good energies. The operational ability navigates with the emotional condition to achieve the best appropriate condition for you, your physical body, and your emotional condition. Even in the operational mechanical machines that, for instance, produce electricity, heat, nice cars, materials for our houses, etc., the input and output will be of the same concept as we use heat from the underfloor heating to feel warm, electricity for cooking, for experiences or coziness, nice cars to enjoy beauty, glass for our windows to feel safe in the environment we create for our houses, etc. We must remember that we may live in a snow cave and make a fire or eat greens from nature, walk from one place to the other, hunt for food, and protect ourselves through our primitive instincts to survive. Quite mechanically and operationally, our survival is not dependent on all of our comforts, which we over time have invented and live with. However, we have also evolved over time, since we lived in a cave and were able to carry out only a few functional things, apart from ensuring our survival. It's not about basic operational survival instincts, but our further developed emotional, intuitive intellect when a teenager cuts into themselves because they feel unhappy. Or a businessman or father can end up killing himself if, for example, he creates a huge debt, ends up bankrupt and cannot face his surroundings because he cannot contain the great feeling of failure. Today, we live and breathe from our emotional energy and use the operational technology to feel comfortable and be more happy. But the operational energy was not made to give, nor was from nature given the purpose of giving us this. In return, this is what our emotional intelligence and the abilities have, which create the feel-good experience we strive for in our lives, in our jobs, our companies, our family and friends, etc. Our experience of happiness feelings is not sustained if they stem from an output of the operational machine, but they contribute to living life in ease, convenience, and with more quality consciousness. When we handle and learn to balance with our emotional condition and intelligence, then we are likely to achieve sustained and more balanced emotional happiness. The missing link. If the pulse of a system is the emotional capacity, like an emotional condition, then we have an answer to where to find enough fuel, just like the energy input that system requires to function in a sustainable and resilient way, now and in the future. The strong link. What we have and are conscious about. If the technical structure of a system is the operational capacity, just like the operational condition in a machine, one energy output in each system, then we already have the answer to how we handle the energetic output of the emotional condition, as by combining these, the integration of the two different conditions, we procure ourselves a combined, sustained condition, just like an energetic output. That's combined intelligent, combined consciousness as an energy blueprint of the system. This, for instance, means that the technical operational function in a transformer station is our operational intelligence, and the energy infused for the technical part to live, work, and even be transformed or streamlined is the energy input of our emotional intelligence to the machine. Our operational intelligence is our transformer, our formatting and streamlining center. Our IQ, the function of the operational intelligence energy, is vital for the function of our EQ, the function of our emotional intelligence energy, and vice versa. What would IQ need to handle if all our emotional senses were not present, not born with the energy information for reformatting? Where would IQ find its curiosity if we do not feel? Innovation and evolution are about finding new ways to develop, to live with more quality and balance, to streamline or produce general development of the capacity of our abilities. The products we invent or create, or thought forms we live by and use as beliefs in the well-being and operation in our daily lives, contribute with appropriate or inappropriate influences. They all fulfill a need, which at the end is about our emotional need. When you, being a salesman, must sell a concept, product, or a service, it is mostly about talking about which need will be fulfilled and which feelings one gets. Even an advertisement fulfills your emotional need. So our logically thinking brain actually operates with the emotional energy to be able to think strategically, calculate the probability of success, risk, etc. It uses the output of the feelings to navigate. Just like if a man tries to sell a product at a certain price, the money contributes to one's survival currency, so that the logical sense thinks about which feeling you would get if the sale goes through, a feeling of success. But what if you do not sell anything? Maybe failure, phase out, or simply an ouch feeling. One navigates from the outputs one knows and has learned from the thought forms we are brought up with and under. So our technological world is dependent on the development of our emotional intelligence in step with, for instance, the digital age. The strong link. If the technical structure of a system is the operational capacity, like an operational condition in an engine, energy output in any system, then we already have the answer to how we manage the emotional condition's energetical input, as by combining them, the integration of the two different conditions will give us a combined, sustainable condition, like an energy output, combined consciousness, or a combined intelligent energy blueprint of that system.